Hello again. I would like you to join me in reading Chapter 6 of Charlene, Darling, A Very Slow Turtle by Beck. Chapter 6 is Mule Mile and Horse Horn. And it starts out with a picture of Lynn, the horse. Okay, and to recap, Charlene, Darling, and Tor are on their way to the Council of Turtles for advice for Charlene's slow situation. And they've been through Cool Cat Cove, Suey Sound, and Monkey Island so far. Okay, let's see what happens here. Welcome to Mule Mile, darling, Tor announced, as he introduced Charlene to a seemingly endless spread of mules and donkeys. Some were relaxing on the beach, some were splashing around in the ocean, and some were playing kickball. They look the friendly sort, Charlene, Darling commented. They can be, but they can also be a very stubborn and obstinate sort of dude, Tor said. How so? Charlene questioned. Take notes, darling, Tor whispered as they approached one donkey. Excuse me, sir. Would you mind moving your hoof just a bit? Don't want to step on you. No, I will not move my hoof, and you can't make me, the donkey, who was stretched on the sand, firmly answered. Fine, don't move a muscle. That's better anyway, dude, Tor said in agreement. It is not better. I'll move as much as I want, the donkey said in rebuke, and went into spasms which caused Charlene, Darling, and Tor to cover their faces from the ensuing sandstorm. Have a good day, said Charlene, Darling, as she and Tor turned to leave. I will most certainly not have a good day. It will be anything but, replied the donkey, as he replaced his sunglasses and resumed his former position. I see what you mean, Charlene, Darling remarked. Donkeys can be headstrong. They definitely don't like to be told what to do, Tor explained. They like to think they are in charge. So the turtles carefully stepped around the donkeys and mules, requesting nothing of them and basically avoiding physical or verbal contact. New ball, a mule ordered for his game of kickball. Kyle, stop kicking so hard. You're making them go flat. The mules and donkeys are fearsome kickers, Darling stated Tor. I know you are not fond of flying through the air, so be advised, don't walk too closely behind one. Good to know, replied Charlene, Darling. The sun was setting and the air was cooling as the weary travelers approached Horse Horn. How are you doing there, darling? Tor asked with concern. Honestly, I'm pooped. I think I could go to sleep right here, right now, Tor, answered Charlene, Darling. Sage suggestion, darling, Tor agreed. It's peaceful. We can watch the sunset and close up for the night right here. How lovely, Tor spoke as he gazed at the brilliant array of colors on the horizon. Then he looked at Charlene, Darling, who was already snoring in her shell. How lovely, he said again, and slumbered just as soundly as she. Morning was announced by an irritating, repetitive cleep, 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 originating from overhead. Stop cleeping, you mangy waterfowls, complained a short-legged horse named Lynn. Take your cleeps and get your beaks out of here, she shouted, before noticing the two turtles staring at her. Sorry, didn't see you. What's wrong with your heads? Got some kind of disease? Stay away from me. Hey, Lynn, it's me, Tor. Like the dew? This is my friend, and we are on our way to the Council of Turtles.
Oh, seeking advice, I see. What's the matter? Got no sense? That's the problem these days. Young folks haven't got the sense the good Lord gave a horse. We need more horse sense, if you ask me. Just like those wretched birds. If they had any sense, they'd make a less annoying noise. Puts everyone in a bad mood.
I see it certainly does you. Nice to meet you, Lynn. My name is Charlene Darling, said the wide-awake turtle.
Like the name, Charlene. Not so sure about the hairdo. I'm out for a walk before I get to work. Don't know how folks can afford to lay around on the beach all day. I have to work for a living.
Tor added, Lynn is a very hard worker, darling.
Of course. I work like a horse. You got a job, Charlene? Inquired Lynn.
Well, I did, explained Charlene. I worked at Speedy Burger, but I got fired. That's why I'm on my way to the Council of Turtles.
I see. Well, at least you've got a boyfriend. I don't even have that. Not much chance in a place like this, said a disgruntled Lynn.
Oh, Tor is not my boyfriend, Charlene Darling urgently interjected. We are just friends. Good friends, Tor added and smiled. But why do you think you can't find a boyfriend around here? What is wrong with the location? We walked through a beach filled with eligible mules and donkeys yesterday. You should stroll over and talk with them, suggested Charlene.
Those stubborn mules and those darn donkeys that kick a ball around all day? I don't think so. I'm not supporting some player, huffed Lynn.
What about the horses that hang in the horn? Tor questioned.
There are horses, wild horses, none that want to buckle down and help carry a load. They are party animals. Yep, bucking broncos, answered Lynn. Want to walk with me? I got a routine. Can't be late for work.
Sure, Lynn. You are going our way, replied Tor. The three companions carried on their conversation to Horse Horn. No lollygagging.
Pick up the pace. I know you're turtles, but you don't have to be slackers, Lynn warned.
Along the way, Lynn stopped to curse the birds that heckled her with the cleeping she so hated, especially one oyster catcher that would suddenly swoop down and cleep into her ears.
Shut up, David, Lynn would command. Get out of here.
The bird was identifiable by a gray streak above his beak and made him look as if he had a mustache.
Thou, David, does it just to aggravate me, muttered Lynn.
Horsehorn offered a wide variety of equine mammals, including zebras. Charlene Darling noticed one giving Lynn the eye and encouraged Lynn to speak to him.
Sorry, stripes are a deal breaker, stated Lynn. Zebras just aren't my type.
There's a handsome steed, if I do say so myself, Tor commented as they came upon a mighty stallion.
Too tall, Lynn said in dismissal. I'm only 13 hands, Tory, my boy.
How about him? Charlene Darling suggested, and motioned to a fine rust-colored horse of lesser height.
Rusty? Lynn asked with obvious disdain. Conceited. He thinks he's such a stud. Nope, I'm telling you, there's nobody around here for me.
Well, then, who lives in the next community? Charlene Darling innocently asked.
Those old goats!
Lynn exclaimed in fury. Goat Gap is next, whispered Tor.
Girl, you should be horsewhipped, said Lynn. Maybe I'm just destined to be single. Right now, I'm going to eat my oats and get to work. I can't just horse around all day like you two. Good luck.
Good luck, Lynn, said Tor said Charlene Darling and Tor. She'll be okay, Tor said as Lynn galloped away. He knew Charlene Darling was concerned for the little brown horse. She is not one to give up, Tor commented as they walked. And there are so many opportunities, Charlene Darling added. Look, ponies, Charlene exclaimed. A large group of ponies were gathered around a boombox, each one demonstrating his own unique style of dance. The ponies have got some freaky footwork, darling. Prepare to be blown away, Tor forewarned. The music was pulsating, and the ponies were hitting every beat with a bend, hop, stomp, or kick. The tiniest pony stepped forward and shook her long black mane. Her velvety copper coat shimmered as she jumped and stepped with lightning speed. Her joints seemed to separate and move in different directions, while her feet set an amazing pace to the music being pumped from the boombox. Everyone had stepped back to give her room to execute her delivery, and when she had finished, everyone cheered and congratulated her on a job well done. Tor made the introduction he knew Charlene Darling eagerly awaited. Darling, this is our own Filipino footstep phenomenon, Charlene. Nice to meet you, Charlene. I'm Charlene Darling. I have never seen anyone dance like you. What type of dance is it? Charlene inquired. Salamat, Charlene timidly said. It's hip-hop. You are very good at it. Are you a professional performer? Charlene Darling asked. Oh, no, Charlene spoke as she blushed. I am too shy to be a performer. I just dance because it makes me happy. Do you dance? Not like that, Charlene Darling answered, gesturing to the ponies gathered around the boombox. I slow dance. Really? Charlene responded with a smile. Show me, please. It is only a simple, slow step, and I don't have a partner, said Charlene. Tor volunteered. Say no more. I am your turtle. Well, we don't have the right music, Tor, Charlene Darling used as an excuse. It's okay. Just show me the steps. We will improvise, Charlene urged. Do you know the box turtle step, Tor? Charlene Darling asked, hoping the answer was no. Vaguely remember my mother trying to teach me, but I wasn't very motivated, Tor confessed. Oh, well, too bad. Sorry, Charlene, Charlene quickly sputtered. But I'm motivated now, Tor bellowed as he grabbed Charlene Darling's hand, spun her into him, and put his hand on the back of her shell. Charlene giggled, and Tor said, Teach me, darling. Feeling trapped, Charlene Darling uttered, It is 4 steps, like this. And she talked Tor through it. Step, side, back, side, up. Side, back, side, up. Simple. Charlene ran over to Osama, the pony designated as boombox DJ, and whispered in his ear. For the turtles, announced Osama. Soon music with a slow, even beat was blasting out of the boombox, and ponies were pairing up to join Charlene Darling and Tor on their self-made dance floor. It's nothing fancy, Charlene seemingly apologized, just slow and steady. Have you not heard the phrase, slow and steady wins the race? Tor replied. Charlene Darling's thoughts went back to some of Jack Rabbit's last words to her. You are just too slow for Speedy Burger. But when she looked up at Tor, that memory was released, and the joy of the moment filled her heart. When the music ended, Charlene's mother, Lelaine, invited the turtles to breakfast. Charlene Darling was pleased to accept, and Tor could not help but say, My appetite for new experiences seems to be rubbing off on you, darling. Have you ever eaten anything from the Filipino menu? No. Is it much different from the menu at Speedy Burger? Asked Charlene. As they made their way to the stable, Lelaine explained that in the Philippines, A lot of rice and vegetables are eaten, to which Charlene commented, "Yeah, vegetables," along with seasoned meat. That morning, they would also be drinking coffee. They gathered around the table, and Lelaine served the meal from large pots. Charlene picked out the vegetables from her rice and gladly gave them to the turtles when her mother wasn't looking. "Lelaine," Charlene Darling said, "you must be very proud of Charlene. Did Charlene get her skills from you?" "Oh, no, my skills are best demonstrated in the kitchen," Lelaine answered. "You must come for dinner sometime. I will cook adobo for you." "Thank you, Lelaine," Charlene Darling said graciously. "We would be honored," added Tor. After a delightful breakfast and Charlene Darling's ceremonial lipstick application, the turtles expressed their gratitude and commenced the long voyage to Goat Gap. Next time we will read Chapter 7, Goat Gap. Thanks for listening.